Hello and welcome. This is a quick overview of the new Translink Configurator 2.0 program. This program is used to program your Translink. The Translink is a hardware device which allows you to control your CBus network from an iPad, iPhone or iPod Touch. The first thing you need to do is make sure that your Translink is running firmware 2.0. If it is an old Translink, it may need to be upgraded. To do that, you need to go down here to the Update tab. You'd follow the instructions here and using the upgrade cable, update the firmware in your Translink to version 2.0. If you bought a new Translink, it will always be supplied with the latest software. The next thing you need to do is press the Connect tab and scan for Translinks. This will find any Translinks on the current network and let you configure them. In this case, it's found this particular Translink. When you click on it, you can then set any of the settings in here, the IP address, port, subnet mask, gateway, and then any of the email information which is used for sending out emails when group addresses change. The next thing you need to do is connect to the Translink by pressing here. Please note that you need to make sure that the CBus is connected to the Translink. You cannot connect to a Translink via the network if the CBus is also not connected. Down here in the transaction log window shows you what's currently happening on the network. It also shows CBus net events. So if I turn a group address off and then back on again, you can see the CBus information, which is great for debugging to make sure the CBus is communicating correctly. The next tab is the Apps and Email tab. This is where you set the application addresses for the two lighting applications that you are going to use. In this case, 37 and 38. Also, you can set a bridge. This is used to get the status of the group addresses on the other side of this bridge. There are also email triggers. You use these if you want to send emails when particular group addresses change. In the Groups tab, this is where you upload all the group addresses and their labels to the Translink. This is then used by the iPhone, iPod application to display the group names. There are a number of ways to do it. One is to type in the application address and the group address and then update the label and then press Set in Controller. The other option, which is much quicker, if your group addresses have good labels in your toolkit file, is to actually load the group names from a toolkit file. You then ask it which group addresses you want to read, and it will read the group addresses from the file. If you choose another group application address, you could then read those particular ones out. You then select the ones that you would like to upload and press Upload Selected Group Names. The other option, once you've uploaded them, is to have a look at what's already in there. This will get all the current group addresses that are in the Translink. In this case, there are 40 items on 37 hex. One of the new features in the 2.0 program is now the ability to have triggers. Triggers are used to trigger off scenes generally within the CBus network. Again, you've got the option here to put it in one at a time. You can have up to 50 triggers. You can put in the trigger number, the group number, and the action selector and the name, and set them in the controller. The other option you've got is to load them from a toolkit file, like we did with the group addresses. If I get the existing ones that are currently in this controller, We have an all-off scene, a get tank level scene, a watch football scene, watch movie lighting scene, and a romantic scene. Another new feature of the Translink Configurator 2.0 is the ability to read from the measurement application. You can have up to 20 measurement. You put in the measurement ID and the channel number and the name, and you can set these in the controller. This is in this case, you cannot read this from the XML file in the toolkit file. We can get the current ones that are in the controller, which are here. The last tab is the Commands tab, and this is useful for testing things. You can trigger off lighting groups by setting them, or by getting what the current status is. You can show what all the status is of the network at any time. So it gets the current status of all the group addresses that you have currently set in the Translink. You can fire off a trigger to make sure a scene is working, or in the measurement application you can get all the current values that are being sent out on the measurement application that your Translink is looking at. The last tab is the factory tab, where you can erase the Translink back to factory defaults, reboot the Translink, or set the personal identification number. This is used to protect your Translink from unauthorized use. To connect to a Translink, you must supply the serial number and a 4-digit PIN.